What's up guys, Shane Starnes here with Droid Modder X. OnePlus has always been focused on their fans, delivering the mantra of never settle. They've always provided us with top of the line specs at a price point that just about everyone can afford. The OnePlus 5 has the potential to be the king at their price range. This is my full review of the OnePlus 5 after about a month of using it. Let's go ahead and get started. First up, we'll talk about the design, and let's go ahead and get the cat out of the bag. Yes, the OnePlus 5 does heavily resemble an iPhone 7 Plus. The OnePlus 5 adopts the all-metal build that we saw on the OnePlus 3T. The main difference here is we have a much thinner device at only 7.25 millimeters. Couple that with the rounded edges on the back, and you have a phone that fits nicely in the hand. While the OnePlus 5 is comfortable to hold, it is incredibly slippery with the metal back paired with that thinness. I found the device slipping out of my hands. In day-to-day use, there were several times where I nearly dropped my phone. To fix the slipperiness of my OnePlus 5, I simply added a Slick Wraps. Big shout outs to Slick Wraps for sponsoring this full review of the OnePlus 5. Not only will a Slick Wraps make your OnePlus 5 easier to hold, it's going to add a bit of flair. From the Natural series to the Galactic series, there's something here for everyone. I'll be sure to include a link in the description of where you can pick up your Slick Wraps today. Also be sure to use that link when you purchase, and you will receive a discount on your purchase. Taking a tour of the device, on the right side of the phone you have a perfectly placed power button. On the left side of the phone you have your volume rocker and also your alert slider. Thank goodness there is a 3.5 millimeter headphone jack, which can be found on the bottom right next to the USB Type-C port, and of course there is a bottom firing speaker. Looking at the front of the device, you will find the home button, which also doubles as the fingerprint scanner. On either side of the home button you'll find your back capacitive and recents capacitive button. Next up, we'll talk about the display of the OnePlus 5, which happens to be a pain point for some. It does feature a full HD 1080p display, and this is an AMOLED display which gets pretty bright, looks very colorful, and is super sharp for 1080p. The display is 5.5 inches with a 16:9 aspect ratio. While most flagship displays offer a QHD display, and we even have a few out there that have 4K displays, a 1080p display will help to save on battery life. And really, if you're not placing this phone next to a Galaxy S8, you may not notice a difference in resolution anyhow. It's worth noting that many people have reported a jelly effect when scrolling on their OnePlus 5. Personally, I have not experienced this in any shape or form. If you have experienced it, then you should return your device. The OnePlus 5 is a performance powerhouse with two versions. You've got a 6GB version and an 8GB version. The 6GB version having 64GB of storage, while the 8GB version has 128GB of storage. Either one of those are going to be incredibly fast with the Snapdragon 835 processor and the Adreno 540 GPU. In everyday tasks such as scrolling between screens on the home screen, opening up the app drawer, checking my notifications, and even opening up applications and multitasking, the OnePlus 5 performs as well, if not better, than any other flagship on the market. This is one of the strong points of the OnePlus 5. One thing that I did notice on the OnePlus 5 from the OnePlus 3T is an improvement in multitasking. It seems like the OnePlus 3 from last year was released with more aggressive RAM management settings. We're not seeing that on the OnePlus 5. Opening apps, closing apps, and then reopening them. I never noticed the OnePlus 5 have to reopen an application from scratch, and it did an excellent job multitasking. As far as the fingerprint scanner performance is concerned, I noticed that it was one of the fastest fingerprint scanners that I've ever used. It's certainly faster than the fingerprint scanner on the Galaxy S8, and I noticed that instantly. I also noticed that the fingerprint scanner is very accurate, and it rarely missed my fingerprint. I also found the alert slider to be very useful when going into work. I could just turn my notifications off and then turn them back on when going home. And there were several situations where I needed the alert slider, and it was just super easy and convenient to use. As far as the performance of the speaker is concerned, the speaker got nice and loud, and for the most part, this sound was clear and crisp, with minor distortion only at max volumes. When it comes to flagship features, the OnePlus 5 is unfortunately missing just a few of them, such as waterproofing, wireless charging, and expandable storage. The 3300 milliamp hour battery was easily able to get me all the way through the day with plenty of battery left over once I returned home from work. I was even able to get about 4 to 5 hours of screen on time. One thing that really makes the OnePlus 5 stand out when it comes to the battery is the dash charge. From my experience, dash charge on the OnePlus 5 is quicker than Samsung's fast charge on the Galaxy S8. I was able to get well above 50% in 30 minutes worth of charge and a full 0 to 100% battery charge in just a little bit more than an hour. The dual lens setup is comprised of a 16 megapixel f1.7 aperture with electronic image stabilization, while the secondary sensor is 20 megapixels. It's a telephoto lens with a smaller 2.6 aperture, which doesn't have any sort of image stabilization. I found that mostly in bright daylight settings, the OnePlus 5 took excellent pictures. Pictures were sharp, colors were accurate and less saturated. Even low light images looked pretty good with little to no noise or grain. The only thing that I noticed is with the lack of optical image stabilization, my hand had to be incredibly steady, or else I did notice that images were blurry and I'd need to retake those. As far as the camera software is concerned, you do get a couple of extra features like a manual mode, which allows you to change ISO and exposure, and you can really just finely detail your images and get a much better image, or at least the image that you're going for with those manual settings. And of course, you do have the portrait mode, which allows for that bokeh effect where you have really sharp focus on your object and a blurry background. That effect looks really great with this camera. When it comes to the software experience, you can't really ask for a better setup. It's running the Oxygen OS, which is a pretty bare bones version of stock Android 7.1.1 Nougat. Oxygen OS does come with a few customization features. There is a theme option which allows you to switch between dark and light themes, and you can even add on-screen navigation keys. Overall, what you can expect with the software here is a stock version of Android without all the extra features that you would get from, say, Samsung or LG. At a starting price of $489, I find the OnePlus 5 is really going to be hard to beat. It has all of the top tier flagship specs, a pretty decent design, a decent camera, and overall I have to say that I enjoyed my time with the OnePlus 5. Anyways guys, that about wraps it up for my full review of the OnePlus 5. If you like this video, be sure to give it a big thumbs up, subscribe to this channel for more content like this in the future. You can find more of me at droidmodderx.com, follow me on Twitter at droidmodderx. Thanks guys for watching, be blessed, I'll see you in the next one.